So one of my favorite things about movies is the making of process. You get to see the costume design, you get to see the props, you get to see the miniatures if there's like these insane special effects, right? And one of the best movie trilogies that I saw growing up was the Star Wars movie trilogy. I'm not talking about the prequels, I'm talking about the originals, like the 1977, 1980, 1983. You gotta give some love to those movies, and here's why. I was actually watching a documentary this weekend about the Death Star, the second Death Star. So if you're unfamiliar with Star Wars, don't worry about it. But in the original movie around 1983, Return of the Jedi, which was the third movie made in that trilogy, they had this task of building the Death Star. Now, if you guys didn't know, the original movie, the original 1977 movie, the original Death Star wasn't a model. It was actually a matte painting. Everything you see in that film is all just a painting using little camera tricks here and there. And what's interesting is after the success of the original Star Wars A New Hope, which was actually just Star Wars back in the day, and then The Empire Strikes Back, George Lucas was writing off, you know, the financial success that he created from the legacy he created in those first two movies. And one of his producers, man, he's like, I really don't want to remake this model again, like this painting. George wants us to make this model because we got to make it a little bit different because it's supposed to be incomplete in the movie. And George asks, hey, how much is it going to cost in the budget for us to rebuild this thing? And one of the teams at Industrial Light and Magic, which is a company behind a lot of things like Jurassic Park, Star Wars, said, I really don't want to build this thing, and if I make it sound expensive, George is going to want to avoid it. So he says, hey, I know George just bought a brand new Ferrari used from the financial success from Star Wars, and he says, you know, if I just tell George that it's going to cost the same as the Ferrari, he's going to want to avoid the budget altogether. So George walks in the room and he says, hey, he says, so what do we do about this Death Star? And he says, well, George, we can, you know, totally get it taken care of for the film, you know, on time. But it's, you know, the Ferrari you bought, George, I did the math, and it's going to cost as much as the Ferrari. And George says, well, that's it? Let's do it. So what's the point of this video? The point of this video is as far as scale, as far as the things you're going after. You know, for you, maybe there's some things that you say, I don't know if it's feasible because it's such a big thing. You know, it's so big that I don't know if I can handle with my budget. You're supposed to be in those conversations, but you sell yourself short because you just think of that same short-term thinking. You guys didn't know I just got out of this COVID-19, you know, just getting out of it, and there were some things where like, you know, I can only do so much work in a week, and I was able to prove myself wrong by just going after it because there's a lot of people counting on me across the country. So just want to share that little quick story. This past Sunday I was watching because I love watching the before and after things. So you guys have a great one. Just want to share this one, and you guys take care.